We will judge this government by how they judged the last government or for the standards they set for themselves. Now, you probably can't remember this, Chewie, because it was hardly ever talked about, but there was this thing under Labor called ram raids, right? You probably don't know what I'm talking about. It's a very kind of niche subject matter. And how the last opposition party, National, wanted to make it very, very clear that the incumbent government was 100% responsible, 100% responsible for those ram raids. Okay? We will judge you by the same standards. An increase in methamphetamine use is 100% the responsibility of this government.
Have a look at these numbers of the wastewater testing. Now, if you look at that spike, cuts at customs came into effect in the middle of last year. I mean, it sort of directly coincides, at least in terms of timing, with the spike that you can see with the methamphetamine levels in wastewater. According to the restructure document from Customs and reporting from staff at the time, those cuts included 12 customs officers. Given your interagency work, is it your view that cutting customs staff has potentially resulted in more methamphetamine coming into New Zealand?
Got to say as well, because I have cut quite a bit out, there was a point earlier on where the police commissioner said the increase in local labs has not gone up, so there hasn't been an increase in local labs. So the increase in meth use is all coming across the border, which is why the customs question is so relevant.
Well, that's not something that I would comment on, Jack. I mean, Customs have gone about a restructure. They've made decisions based on criteria. That's not for me to comment on.
It does coincide directly with that huge methamphetamine spike, which you were then dealing with.
Well, that could be an assumption, but, you know, I'm
timing-wise, it correlates, yeah.
Timing correlates. Whether that's an issue that correlates to the actual problem, I'm not sure.
In your view, from your office's work, do you believe that Customs has the resources it needs to fight back against these international syndicates?
We work very closely with Customs every day, and not just here in New Zealand either. So, you know, I'm proud of the work that my people do with Customs, and I'm sure Customs are too. That's got to continue because it's ultimately at the border where that protection needs to be at.
Is that a what?
Is that an answer? And
he does very well. Look, I'm on the fence a little bit about the criticism because I do understand a political appointment probably shouldn't sometimes. But when he says, I have got no answer to that, when Jack says, does the timeline line up? Oh, I wouldn't speak to that. It's like, well, that's actually not, because it does. You can look, this is where they were fired, this is where the number. So you can say yes to that. That's not a political answer.
It's absolute best.
And is it?
Well, I'm proud of what we do. I know Customs are proud of what they do.
Yeah, look, you're proud, but is it at its best?
Well, I think this is part of the work that's underway to look at what new opportunities there may be.
Let me reframe it a different way. Would giving Customs more resources mean that less methamphetamine comes into New Zealand?
Well, I think you have to ask Customs that. I mean, I'm quite sure that gives. I'm quite sure that would give the opportunity for us to.
Yeah, the answer is yes. So it's not difficult. Obviously, let's be silly. If we had 500,000 more staff, yes. If we had 500,000 fewer staff, it would be terrible. Where's the number in the middle? So the obvious answer is yes. That's where politicking becomes a bit too much.
To work even more broadly with Customs, more resource, more work, and the demand, as you can tell, is high. So it's obviously common sense that would make sense, but it's not for me to comment on whether that's something that's an option.
So he said yes, it's common sense that would be the case. But I better not say it in an official capacity. I've got like 4 little clips, Chewie, to play as we go through. But what are your thoughts about that one to start with? So methamphetamine going through the roof. Remember, we listened to someone a couple of weeks ago who said nowhere in the world has methamphetamine use increased in the percentile that it has in New Zealand. So there you go. We are leading the world in something, Chewie.
You can tell a political employee because why use less word when many word will do? Without actually answering anything. It was excellent. Look, I think the aspect that like local labs and cooking them here. This is an imported product, and when people go, well, what the fuck? It doesn't necessarily come on a domestic flight in someone's suitcase, because you'll probably get pinched that way. That's where customs is in the airports, right?
Yeah.
Where it isn't is in a little marina on the Coromandel or in the far north, where you can sail from one of the islands where it's been imported in bulk. There isn't the resources to have people check those boats coming in. So now it's easier. And the only silver lining to this is Luxon has promised us a laser focus on the cost of living. And if there's a lot of meth around, that cost has gone down. Mission accomplished.